What do you get when you mix dinosaurs and every fantasy movie ever? Possibly the greatest piece of paleo media in a decade, that's what. Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. A week ago, I talked about one of my favourite indie animation projects of recent time, with Sauria. But a lot of you wanted me to talk about another project created by Dead Sound. One that not only managed to continue the fantastic streak set by Sauria, but also managed to break grounds by combining two things that nobody else has really done. But what is Soria, I hear you ask? Well, despite its name, it's not a continuation of Sauria, but rather it's its own unique miniseries of its own, with 3 episodes in total that showcase different elements of the same large fantastical world, called Sauria. And this world truly is something special, as it's a cross between prehistory and mythical fantasy, a combination that really should be combined more often. Could you imagine something like Lord of the Rings with dinosaurs and other prehistoric mammals roaming around? It's literally got potential written all over it. So why don't people do it? Well, I have a few theories as to why that may be, but probably the biggest one of all would have to come down to, because it's really damn hard to make it work. People have tried to blend more fantastical elements with dinosaur elements in the past, with stuff like Land of the Lost as an example, but they never seem to truly work because it's very hard to get this sort of thing just right. And so the whole existence of Soria itself is something that is not only interesting but incredibly impressive. So how does Sauria make it work? Well, it surprisingly doesn't tell you a lot. Where a lot of other fantasy movies and shows now are so quick to over-explain everything and just lore dump onto you the moment you watch it, Sauria instead eases you into its world by leaving its world ambiguous. And I really like that. It allows these stories to be self-contained adventures without feeling the need to explain how everything works and why everything is a certain way. And that's just one element as to why this miniseries is just so interesting. Why are there ancient statues of long-lost dinosaur tribes? What the hell happened to all the other dinosaur people that used to inhabit this world? Why are there dinosaur people if there are also dinosaurs in this world? And why are there curses, witches, spells, and demons in a world of dinosaurs? We never get a concrete answer, but instead of just leaving us with nothing, the series instead implements it into the wonder and mystery of this world, making us, the audience, fascinated by the lack of answers, and thus begin to create possible scenarios in our own heads as to what the answers could be. It's engaging us, it gets us interested into what the possibilities are. It's a subtle but brilliant way to get people engaged with the world. And speaking of brilliant, my god, this series is a marvel to look at. The animation once again looks really good, but that's no surprise with Dead Sounds, that's to be expected at this point. But what I'm talking about in particular is the design of the series. From the landscape, to the creatures, to the structures, to the weaponry, everything here has so much attention to detail that it's really fantastic. Every time you pause the screen, you'll most likely see something you probably would have missed at first. And all these details have purpose. It's not just random stuff for no reason. Each element of this world has a purpose and a meaning behind it. Even if we don't think so at first, it's still really fascinating. It's like one of those murals you'd see on the streets sometimes. They're so well planned out and full of detail that you can't help but let your eyes wander on its beauty. Now, if I were to complain about this series at all, I would probably have to say that this series needed more time. Maybe just 1 or 2 more episodes in particular, because again, they just leave so much to the imagination here. While it works for the most part, it can feel a little too much left to the imagination sometimes. To the point that by the end of the 3rd episode, you're just kind of sat there scratching your head trying to make sense of it all. Maybe if it had like a few more episodes to circle back to everything, like bring all these other stories into one cohesive narrative to really send it off in a big way. Or maybe even go back in time to show off some of the secrets that were in the past. Or maybe even fast forward into the future to see what that is like. There's just so many possibilities here that could have given a real good conclusion. But in the end, it does just feel a little short, in my opinion. And for now, it does just kind of feel like a cliffhanger instead of a real conclusive ending. But hey, if my only real criticism of your thing is that I want more of it, then you know you're doing a very good job at it. And to think this vast and rich world was all created by one guy is, again, insanely impressive. Dead Sound as an artist is really doing some great stuff here that needs to be watched more. And in a way, I think that's kind of beautiful. How masterpieces of art just like this are created by one guy just trying to do something different from everyone else and essentially just have fun while doing it. And you know, I think that's something we need more of in the indie animation space. As someone who's covered this space for a long time now, indie animation has become shrouded in toxicity, false promises, being overproduced and oversaturated with just the same stuff over and over again and just being way too commercialized. There's not much magic left in there for us to enjoy. And I think it's miniseries like Soria here that remind us just what is possible when we make stuff for ourselves that we want to see. Because I think when we make stuff that we want to see more than what others would want to see, it gets much more unique stuff out of it. Stuff that really pushes the boundary of animation, you know? So, if you're interested in checking out Sauria for yourself, then I recommend going to the description of this video. I'll leave a link down there to Dead Sound's channel, so you can go over and watch it for yourself right now. And also, if you want to cover any other Paleo media next, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Subscribing tells me you want more content just like this, and it helps me make this content for you guys a lot faster. So, if you want me to cover more Paleo media, then be sure to comment what you want me to cover and subscribe, so you don't miss out whenever I upload. And with that, peeps, it's been the Pink King here, and I will see you all next time.